Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Ramesh. I am of Indian descent. That's right, now that we got that over with. Anyway, this is my very first video, so yeah, it doesn't look professional. It looks simple. I wanted it to look simple because I want this to be simple. I want this to be for everyone. I don't want to discriminate between age or gender or, oops, sorry, whatever. I just want to help out the little guy because I've noticed that there's a lot of law of attraction coaches out there, people who do teach Neville Goddard as well, and they do ask a lot of money for this. And to be honest, I didn't really like the way things were going. Like people paying, I don't know, just $500 for a few sessions, which is not necessary at all. I mean, all the information is here and it's free, and you just need the right people to help you. So, therefore, I decided to create my own channel, and hopefully, I will be able to inspire you to read the books that he wrote because the books are just pure gold. Well, there's also the many, many lectures, like in 300 or more, even. But the books are like the basics. You have to read the books. Now, some people actually told me that the books are quite difficult, and it seems that a lot of information has been given that doesn't really correlate to Neville Goddard's teachings. So, all these things made me decide that, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I started writing. And I've been getting requests from people that I should start my own YouTube channel. So here I am, and I'm going to start this channel. You do not need to pay any coach, I don't know what, like 150 to $500. You really don't. All you need is to read the books written by the wonderful Neville Goddard and apply what he says. Keep reading it. That's all you need to do. You have to test it. This is what Neville used to say. He said, don't just sit here and believe me. Test it and test it to the extreme. Just test it out. Sorry. So, what I wanted to talk about today is the very first chapter of his very first book. I love reading books chronologically, so that's how I'm going to start. Every podcast is going to be a chapter of his book in chronological order. So the book I got, it's called At Your Command, his very first book, has 6 chapters. I'm going to do the first chapter today. I'm going to tell in short what it's about mainly, and you can read it for yourself. It can be quite difficult because he doesn't use everyday words, but it will be good for your English language skills anyways. And reading is good. I talk too much. Let's get to the gist. So in the first chapter, Neville clearly speaks of that whatever happens in our life, sorry, my laptop, is actually it's caused by our thoughts. At first you might think, but how is that possible? This is the question I get from a lot of people, and everyone keeps asking me, but how? How is it possible? Well, that's why you have to read the books, because everything you think of, in some way, it will be executed by your mind. Sorry, there's a fly on my hand. Sorry for this clunky video. It's funny. Anyways, every thought is actually impressed on your mind, which your mind is going to execute. I will tell more of this later. There's a lot more. But in short, that's actually what's happening. So everything you think of will be shown to you as if you were watching a movie. So I think Shakespeare said it really, really well. Like the whole world and everyone in it, the whole world is a stage, and every person is an actor, and they're all playing their parts. This is actually what it's all about. Okay, I'm not going into too deep. I wrote a small summary of the first chapter, so please excuse me if I look away from the camera. I don't mean to be impolite. It's just what I have to do. I'm more of a writer than a speaker. Let's see here. So yeah, Neville says that everything that happens in our lives is an effect of the thoughts we have, which I just told you. And any desire we have can become a reality in this world as well. It's good news, isn't it? Everything you want can be realized. It can be made true. Your wish can come true. You can actually do this. Let's go to the next part. There's one sentence in the chapter, though, that might cause a lot of controversy. It's very controversial, contradictory. It's about affirmations. Neville actually says that here, he says, you cannot make things appear, or do not command them to appear, by using words or loud affirmations. He does say vain. So this actually means that if there's no feeling behind the words, then it has no effect. We'll get more onto that much later. But what he means is you shouldn't say an affirmation such as I am rich and repeat it like 100 times without any feeling. So you say it kind of like a robot. That's not how it works. There should always be some feeling behind it. But like I said, we'll talk about this later. Anyways, mm, so sorry for this. It's the first video and it's difficult. Well, not difficult. It's different. That's better, right? Because I'm a writer, I'm not a speaker. Well, I'm actually a teacher, but just getting used to it. So, the most important part that Neville talks about is the Bible. According to him, the Bible is not a book about history. It's actually a book about how to use your mind. It's actually, in his words, the greatest psychological drama ever written that takes place in your own mind. And that's the beauty of it. I know it sounds a little bit crazy if this is all new to you. I know. But that's why I would strongly recommend to start reading, and then you might slowly understand. It will sink in. Let's go to the next part. So, one thing he also mentions is that the name of God is translated, it's I am. It's interesting, isn't it? I am. So, can you imagine what happens if you say, I am rich? If you speak with I am, but you don't say it out loud, rather, you would think it out loud mentally, so inside, as if you're talking, but you hear the voice inside your head. That's how you could, that's how I would do it. Let's go to the next part. Ah, so yeah, according to him, this is interesting. God is not some external creature, meaning it's not what you've been taught. Like, it's not a big man in the sky with a big beard, and heaven is not some paradise with gates. No, God is actually in here, is your mind, your own wonderful human imagination. That's what God is. So, in all these, you have this power, this God power, this imagination. And with this, you can actually create wonderful things for yourself and also for others. This was my first video. I hope you liked it. And I might... Anyway, this is just a pilot. I might even reshoot this video. Anyway, thank you for listening. And see you next time.